I'm curious, when you think about the season of life and how you've adjusted to allow yourself the right amount of time to play guitar, how do you as a leader navigate those different identities and which ones of those get the optimal and best time and energy from you?
When I think of where my attention needs to be as a leader, I think about my family, leading my wife and my kids. I think about leading my business at Free to Grow CFO. And I think about leading myself, not necessarily in that order, but those are like the three that come up the most frequently. And I gotta say, so I have currently a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. We're just emerging from the haze of having a 3.5-year-old, a 1.5-year-old, and a newborn. Like that was very intense. And one thing in terms of like seasons of life and thinking about where my attention is focused and who's getting what piece of me or who's getting the best version of me, honestly, like it really has changed rapidly with young kids. And I've had to actually be willing to evolve almost sometimes on a weekly basis, right? Where it's like this week I have a child who is not sleeping. That just changes absolutely everything. I'm not sleeping. My wife's not sleeping. Actually, usually multiple of my kids are being affected by it, not just the one who's not sleeping. I run a business from home. And so in some of those seasons, I've actually had to shrink my work hours. And because my wife needed me from an emotional support standpoint, she needed me to be around to just take a kid and put him on my lap so that she could just deal with surviving for the day, right? Having not slept. And so actually there was, candidly, there was quite some time last year when I might have ultimately probably worked from 10 to 4 or 10 to 3 just by virtue of the chaos of what was going on here with my family. But I was like, I can't just leave that, right? And I know and I know from having multiple kids that this doesn't last forever, right? This is the season we're in with this child. And so when I would come to work for that 5-hour day, I actually didn't even know I was in the middle of a 5-hour day. I just knew I got there late and I was like, I don't know how long I can be here. And so I had to be so focused on these are actually the 3 most important things that are going to move the needle for the business today. Everything else, if I get to it, I will. But there's actually another unlock. I started going like, why am I not calling my EA, who's my right hand, and be like, Sasha, my day just blew up. These are the 3 things I need to do. Here's all these other things on the list that need to get done and they're important, but they shouldn't be done by me. Can you just tackle those? So a big thing that really helped me get the most out of being present as a dad and a husband and being the most impactful I could in work is saying, these are the 3 things I should do. And everything else, I'm just going to get on the phone with my EA and kind of brain dump with her and really quick prioritize what she can do, what days it needs to get done by, and let her just handle that while I focus on these 3 things because I might need to be available for my family later. So like in the chaos, I actually have to draw upon these leadership and productivity principles even more than when things are like quiet and calm, if that makes sense.
It makes all the sense in the world. Like nothing clarifies like chaos. Nothing clarifies like a crisis. Like when there's a crisis in business or when there's a crisis at home, it's like successful people step up, step in and make those decisions. And I love that you navigated that because it's hard to do. It's hard to not let that, instead turn into, I'm going to be there at work from, 10 until 3, and then I'm going to go home. And then when the kids go to bed, I'm going to be up from, I'm going to be doing work from 8 p.m. until 3 a.m. And then you can create a doom loop if you're not really careful. I'm thinking about what you said a minute ago, like you're navigating 3 startups at once. You start a family, like all the scale up maybe is a better way to frame that. If you have a leader who's coming to you and they're trying to navigate growth and they're navigating these challenges, and you're going to be a beacon of awareness and a beacon of wisdom about how they need to think about their business financially because they got so many things going on.